Hello everybody, Timothy Bailey with Project Learn here, and today we are looking at some common tools. But what are tools? Well, a tool is something such as a hammer, saw, shovel that you hold in your hand and use for a particular task, right? And we're looking at things like these. These are all tools. We're going to look at my tools in a second, right? But let's look at some vocabulary, some of the words for tools. First, we have the toolbox, right? The toolbox is the thing that we keep all of our tools in. Scissors, flashlight, hammer, screwdriver, box cutter, tape measure, wrench, pliers, slip joint and needle nose pliers, nails, and screws. Let's go ahead and check out my toolbox. Hello, so we're talking about tools. You know what tools are, right? An instrument, a thing you hold in your hand to achieve a particular task. We looked at some vocabulary words. Let's go ahead and look in our toolbox. Lucy and I live in an apartment, so we don't need a lot of tools. We don't need a very big toolbox like someone might have in their garage. My father has a very big toolbox because he fixes cars and many other things as well. Lucy and I just need to fix some small things that break around our apartment, maybe hang a picture. So we have a small toolbox. But let's go ahead and look inside and see what we have in our toolbox. All right. Well, the first thing, we have a pair of scissors, right? Yep, scissors are a tool, right? A thing you hold in your hand to achieve a particular task, right? This is the very general definition of tool. So it can include even things like a pen, right? A pen is a kind of tool, right? We're looking at repair tools here, but scissors certainly can be a tool, okay? Those we keep in our toolbox. This is a very small one. A flashlight. If we were in England, we would call it a torch, but we're not, so we call it a flashlight. You can turn it on, right? Bright, oh, bright. Right? These are always nice to have in case there's a storm and your electricity goes out and you have no lights. A flashlight or some candles, right? A hammer, right? A hammer is for hitting nails. We'll see nails in a second. So hammer is one of the tools that's both the noun, this thing, and the verb, I am hammering, okay? Hammer. And I use this to hang pictures, right? I put the nail, which I will show you in a second, on the wall, and then I hammer in the nail and hang our beautiful picture. Now I have a particular kind of screwdriver, right? Here's my screwdriver. Notice it has nothing on the end. So I have all of the little bits here. Okay. Now screwdrivers typically have two kinds. Right? There are more, but usually around the house we look at two. This one, and I'll put it in here, you can see. This one is called a flathead screwdriver, right? So if you buy this all together and it looks like this on the end, that's a flathead screwdriver. I have a flathead bit here that I can put in. Now the other one, this one is called a Phillips head screwdriver. If you're buying a screwdriver together, one piece, if you're going to the store, it's always nice to have both of those kinds of screwdrivers. Because you can never tell when you buy something, a table, and you need to put it together, what kind of screw they might have. I also have, and these are handy, some very, very small screwdrivers. This is a small, flathead screwdriver. These are handy for things like your glasses that you wear, right? Or other very, very small things. Like a lot of times when you buy things for your children, the batteries are screwed in. You can't take them out. So you need to use one of these to unscrew them sometimes. And you can buy this whole thing at the store, right? I don't imagine this would cost you more than a few dollars. Probably less than that, to be honest. All right. Now here we have something that you might need. And if I click it, you can see the clicking here, right? This part here. Out it comes, and it is very sharp. It's a razor. But this particular kind of razor we call a box cutter. And why do you think that is? Because primarily we use it when we get a box from Amazon or something to cut open the box, right? Just be careful. And if you have children around, right, you should always keep it closed, right? So there's nothing open. There, now it's closed, right? Nothing here. Okay. Now imagine you bought a new couch or a new table, but you're not sure where it'll fit in your apartment. You might need one of these. This is called a tape measure, right? A tape measure. And in the United States, right, this measures things in inches, and if I turn it over, you can see it measures them in feet as well, right? So this, if you can see here, let me stop it and show you here, 12 inches is 1 foot, right? 1 foot. So if I used it on myself standing up, I am 5 feet, 10 inches tall, right? And you can see I can measure myself because this tape measure goes all the way to 12 feet, right? There are tape measures that go longer and tape measures that go shorter. This is also another very important tool to have around the house, right? You may not use it a lot, but when you need it, you'll be glad you have it. This is a wrench, right? And you see the end here, right? If I turn this little part, the ends will open up. They'll spread apart. And I can spread them apart as big or as small as I need to go around the bolt. I don't have any bolts. Bolts are things that we use a wrench on, right? To undo them or to tighten them, right? And then when I go the other direction, it closes, right? A wrench. This is a pretty small wrench. There are very small wrenches and then very large wrenches. Now our pliers, we had 2 kinds of pliers, if you remember from the vocabulary section, right? The first kind of pliers are called slip joint pliers, and they look like this. And if I sort of move them apart, you'll see that thing in the middle here moves, right? And now they don't close all the way, okay? And I can close them back, and now they close all the way. Also, if you can see on the inside here, you can see they have little teeth all along. That's to help grab the thing that you need to tighten or loosen, right? So you don't lose it. The other kind, again, here are the pliers, are called Needlenose pliers. And you can see they look kind of like an alligator or a crocodile with this very long, pointy nose, right? And they're pretty much just flat inside. They do have a little bit of roughness here, so that it's not too slippery when you try to grab something. And they also have in here, right, in this section here, for cutting things like wires, right? You just put it in there and you cut it, or you can strip off the rubber around the wire. those are all of our tools. The last two things I wanted to show you, right, are the two most common things that we use our hammer and screwdriver for. So the first one, right, if you can see, is called a nail, right? And a nail is long and straight. It might be very long, it might be kind of short. This one's pretty long. It's pointy at the end, one end, and it's flat and got a round, what we call a head, on the other end. So, whenever I need to put it somewhere, I stick it in the wall, right? My hand is the wall, I'm pretending. Then I take the hammer, and I tap it in as far as I need to, right? If I'm hanging a picture, I might leave some of it out so that I can hang the picture on that. And I have some smaller nails as well, right? So you can see, here's a very small nail, and here's a bigger nail. Of course, if you're building something like a house, you're going to use nails that are quite a bit bigger. Now the last thing is the screw, right? Here's the screw. And luckily for this screw, it can take both a flat head screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver. It is made to do both, right? Now I do need a small one because this is a small screw, right? So I put my bit in here, and then I would put this into the piece of wood or whatever I want to screw it into. I put the screwdriver in the screw, which is hard to do like this, and then I turn it, and the screw goes around and around, and then it goes into the wall or into the wood. All right. Well, I hope a look at my toolbox, at our toolbox, Lucy and I's toolbox. I hope this was helpful. Next time you need to go to the store and ask for a tool, or you're working around the house, try out your tool vocabulary in English. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so there are the tools that we have in our toolbox. Maybe some of the common tools you want or need or already have in your house. Next time you go to the store, walk down the tool aisle and see if you remember what those tools are called in English. Thank you and bye-bye.